we haven't been here in 3 years, and to celebrate the fact, I will share with you three things that have helped me or that I have learned in those past 3 years. And the first one is you need to know when to double down and then to trust the process. There are areas in your life in which you can do more effort, and the more effort that you put in, the more output you get. And there are areas in your life in which no matter how much effort you can put in, it's either not in your control or what you're doing just marginally helps. So I think the last one, the last case, it's the most difficult when you can see marginal improvements, but you know that, see, if you spend 60 hours, maybe your project is gonna be 5% better. And that can be enticing if you are a perfectionist or somebody who wants to do everything at a certain standard of quality. But for the most people that you're going to produce things for, or that you're going to work for, or that you're going to help, um, trust me, they don't have the same standard, and you should hold yourself to the standards of the others when you are producing something for them. In the end of the day, it's a discussion about what they need, what they want, and what you should provide them. So it's always better to look at the person that you're talking to. And sure, if something needs to be done with 0% tolerance, then okay, spend all the amount of time that you need, go for it, go wild. But other than that, don't double down on it. You're just wasting time that you could spend better in other ways. And I think you know this, so let's go to the second part, which I really love because we suffer more in imagination than we do in reality. And sure, I'm paraphrasing this and also paraphrasing another quote that was something along the lines of why are you afraid of losing something when in this world nothing really belongs to you? So what this also means is that a lot of our let's say stress, but also of our problems. In case you do not know, I have been also in the research field for the past 6 years, I would say, and one of the areas of research is of my neurology research has been regarding stress, and of course there are plenty of books, plenty of research articles on that topic, but I was saying that just a parenthesis so that you would know that stress is one of the biggest things that we inflict on ourselves, and this is going to be tied to number three that I'm going to share with you. That's extremely important to us. But stress is one of the main reasons why our quality of life decreases. And from this stems a lot of issues. And it's very easy to say, oh, okay, don't stress yourself or find ways to mitigate the stress. But I think those ways of thinking are really powerful. And first of all, no matter what you lose, and it also depends on your risk tolerance and what you're trying to do, but no matter how much or what you lose, at the end of the day, if you can be comfortable, if you have a comfortable living, that's good enough. And whatever else you try, it's just a bonus, right? So and there is another saying that ties down into it, and again, those are just approximate ones. It was something along the lines of, I have lived so many tragedies, but most of them inside my head. Or actually, it was something along the lines of, most of them didn't even happen, right? Or something along those lines. And the point of that is, of course, it's good to be anxious. It's an emotion that has the role to protect us. It's good to have intrinsic motivation. That's what drives us. It's not extrinsic one for the long term. And to say, okay, my motivation puts me to put pressure on myself. But in the end of the day, and I do recommend, if you want an easy read on that, you can read something that Sapolsky wrote on the subject of the stress. He's, I think, an extremely good educator. So yeah, go for that. But if you find a way to limit or reduce the stress in your life, no matter how maybe this sounds privileged, right? Maybe this sounds like somebody that lives a stress-free life and tells you, hey, you shouldn't worry about things. I'm a chronic warrior, not a warrior as in fighter, but I do worry a lot. And my favorite book, I was asked this by a special person a few days ago. My favorite book is actually How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And it's ridiculous because I think so. Right now, for my doctoral research, I have read around 800 articles and books, but this like tiny simple book, and it's of course it's self-help, but um, it's still it's still a great book for me to go back every now and often, and it's a good idea to revisit the books that think that have helped you. I do have, or let's just put it this way. I think the best that you can do for your stress is to have sessions with yourself, right? To write down a lot of stuff, do the calculations, do the numbers, be very analytic, very specific. If you want some doom and gloom scenarios, sure, write them down. They really help. Why? Because you're gonna see that even in the worst case scenario, what can happen is not that fatal. Okay, uh, is that actually a good use of, yeah, of words? I don't think so. I don't think fatal has a comparison. But anyway, right. So the whole point of this is you spend a lot of time worrying, you spend a lot of time striving, you spend a lot of time being there and fighting for things that you want, and or at least that's what you do if you're like me. Again, those were lessons for myself, right? And I found out that in relationships with everybody around and in life in general, calm is contagious. If you can remain calm in any kind of situation, it doesn't, like, I can tell you from teaching students uh to something trivial like playing cards. But if you teach and you see that something that you're doing doesn't hit the mark. Remember, I had one terrible lesson one time that I thought, and I was supposed to do this quiz with them, and somebody logged in and deleted all the questions because, of course, I gave them the wrong. I gave them the key for the teacher because I was at the beginning, I was doing mistakes. But see, everything went downhill because I didn't manage to stay calm, and I regained that calm in like 10 minutes or so, but I've already lost most of the class by that time. That wasn't my class, I was just having a lecture there, but anyway, it's you of course you get experience, you get more gray hairs, you get more years, and you will find out that calmness and being able to understand that the things that you strive for, they're great if you get them, but they're they're not a necessity. And I'm using this in the worst analytical way, right? I'm using it as a logician would, but they're not necessary for your existence. Nothing, to be fair, really is. So right, okay, let's go to the third part, and that's about spending, right? So it's about spending for good things that help you get a certain comfort or certain health. And this is why I said it was going to tie with the third point, the second one, because staying in good health, at a good weight, working out, eating good food, having good trips, having good experiences, having great interpersonal relationships, great sex, great trips with friends, and so on. Those things we tend to push back when we say, okay, we need to double down, we need to study this, we need to get more money, we need to make a million by this, a million by then. And sure, that makes sense. And I'm not saying in any way that you shouldn't care about those things, but I'm saying that things that make you want to have the exact same day as you are having it right now, those are things that are valuable for you. And the question is always how much you want to spend for the day that you are having, right? If you're having a lot of days that you literally regret having, that you are having such a terrible time while living them, then what's the purpose? Okay, I know we have to work. I'm working two jobs. I'm doing one for I'm actually I want to say one for passion, one for other reasons, but both of them I can find things that I enjoy, and I'm really excited um, to have found a place where I'm, let's say, happy with that, and the whole idea of work-life balance, that also comes when you are putting attention in, right? Nothing comes out of just cruising along, and that's why I said that you should make sure that you spend for those things that are important for you. You should make sure that you take the time for those things that are important for you. And sorry, this is important for the people who are high achievers, who are striving. Maybe you have a similar life experience like myself. I grew up poor. I didn't enjoy many luxuries. I still do not. I'm a frugal type, as you can see. But I've started to enjoy more and more experiences as things progressed, and the same goes with. And I'm taking them again. Speaking about calmness, I'm uh, I'm able to enjoy them way more when I can situate myself a bit outside of the current hustle and bustle of what we have to do. Right? So remember this. You have to know when to double down, you have to know when to just trust the process, and whatever happens, the worst case scenario is never that serious. The second thing is that calm is contagious, right? And we tend to suffer more in our imagination. By the way, there is a research paper, and I forgot exactly the title, but it actually showed that you take worse decisions the more that you are overthinking them. It was I really forgot about it because I read of it a while ago, but I think they had to pick between multiple categories of things, and the more they spent thinking about the pick itself, the worse decision they made. Um, yeah, I'll search for that paper and maybe link it. I will not, to be fair. I'm just posting this to be honest, to say hi, and because it's nice to come back from time to time to something that I used to like, to enjoy doing. But yeah, and the third thing is, don't be afraid to include or to spend or to put time in the activities that make your life good, make your life worth living, because we tend to forget a lot of that. And maybe as an extra, whenever you want to do something, when you say I go, you should go. It's not really helping if you are trying if you are on the verge. It's the same with waking up at a certain hour. It's the same with exercising, it's the same with jumping in some cold water, or it's the same with an investment that you want to do, a trade that you want to do. If you decided and you have done your due diligence, and you know what you want, you know that's for sure what helps and what serves you, if you say you go, you should go, right? Okay, that's it for me. Maybe we're gonna hear each other again in 4 years, not three, when I'm gonna be over 35. So yeah. Anyway, it's been fun. It's been a pleasure. It's been a blast. Uh, shouting Shout out to all the people that have been around in those past years, and friends, everybody who's ever gonna watch this, for taking the time to get here. Just trying to leave you with a positive on a positive note and a positive message. You can do so many things that you really are not aware of. They do require a lot of intent. They do require a lot of, for somebody who studies consciousness, I'm gonna tell you that a conscious effort. I don't think there is any other kind of effort. And for whatever that warrants, if that's a function of your biology or a function of something else, we don't care. It means that everything needs to be intentional, right? So yeah, that's maybe a bummer, but as long as you know that um, with good intention, even if you don't hit the mark, because you might intend to be in a specific point and maybe you didn't hit it, because it's not your fault. It's not anybody's fault. There are so many complex things. If you know a bit about financial markets, Jim Simmons was his he managed to have the returns that he had just because he could find the model that would take into account all those things that seemed not connected or irrelevant. There are so many things that are at play, and of course, nature, nurture, uh, everything around that, um, and your upbringing. I am also a believer in the fact that very very few times we could have acted in different ways that we did. So this is why we should be understanding with each other, but also to to appreciate the circumstances that led someone to do the thing that we consider to be positive, and also we should appreciate that person is the same way that he or she is. There is a lot of room for kindness in the world. There's a lot of room for understanding that we don't come from the same place, and of course the first reaction that we have is to be um, wary of strangers. It's the us versus them mentality, and it's completely normal, innate, it's human. That's how things should be. But once we get aside that initial us versus them thing, maybe we find out that we care a lot about the same things. Maybe we find out that, I remember, this is what has led to the USSR collapse as well, right? That's ah man, I don't want to butcher the names. I want to say Gorbachev, but I don't know which leader of USSR had the realization that either that outside of USSR people had actually similar interests, like family was very important for him, family was important, and so on and so forth. Maybe that's not a good anecdote. I'll just scrap that if I were you. I think it's a good time to end this, and until next time, who knows, maybe I'm gonna introduce you to a kid or something. Yeah, take care, I'll see you.